What is happening, y'all? trueeevil here, and with today's Where Winds Meet video, we are going to be talking about the full bleed build for PvP, which is going to be the strategic sword plus the Heavenquaker spear. This is a build you're going to see a little bit less than the strategic sword build with the Nameless spear, which that build is going to really focus around the Nameless spear stun. This build is going to be, well, more damage as well as have a little bit more mobility to get behind your opponent. The reason why Heavenquaker Spear does more damage than Nameless Spear is because you're going to be getting this damage buff here, which is either going to be Water Drop or Spring Surge. Unfortunately, in 1v1 we can't get the River Flow, so we are going to be sticking with either a 10% damage buff or a 15 damage buff, which is, well, that's going to be really, really nice. And on top of that, this ability is going to allow you to get behind your opponents really easy. I'm going to show an example clip right now before we start talking about the build. For this build, the interways that I'm going to recommend is going to be Sword Horizon, because this is going to give you access to crisscrossing swords, as well as let you just be able to pop your bleed stacks to do a really nice chunk of burst damage. Then you're going to want Morale Champ, because it's just, well, going to make you do more damage, and the stacks are super easy to get with this one. Then for the last two, I recommend Bitter Seasons for that poison damage and for lowering their defense, as well as Fivefold Bleed to apply Weeping Blood stacks, because, well, the more types of bleed and poison, well, the more damage they're going to take, and since this is a dot build, it's going to just work really, really nicely. The main Mystic skills I'm going to recommend for this build is going to be Meridian Touch. I really like this skill because every time they try to get some distance between you, or you try to get distance between them, you can pop this to do a tiny bit of damage, and throughout the entire match you're going to do about 5% of their HP with this bad boy. So really, really enjoy this ability. Then we're going to have Cloud Steps as a gap closer. Serene Breeze is something I think is mandatory because of all these dual blade players trying to get you sort of locked into their combo. You can pop this bad boy to get out of it, but there is a 40-second cooldown, so make sure that you don't immediately get locked into a combo again right after popping this. So definitely something really nice, but you can't rely on it multiple times in a short match. Then Dragon's Breath is going to be the final thing I really recommend because of that really nice ignition, and it can just do a ton of damage. The problem with it is you have to make sure that you're guaranteed to hit them if you pop this bad boy. You don't want them to be in a place where they can easily evade it or get behind you, especially behind you, because they can really punish you badly. But the only way to really learn how to do this is to, well, use it over and over again and learn when they can't avoid it. And there is going to be a couple of matches in the examples where I really use Dragon's Breath to win the match, and I'll put a little note on those with Dragon's Breath next to it so you can watch that and see how OP this move really is. And I don't necessarily recommend Drunken Poet with it right now because of the tiers that we're locked in. Drunken Poet isn't going to really pop off in the damage department as much as it can be in the later levels, so I don't necessarily recommend using Drunken Poet right now. And I would rather use something like Talon Strike or Leaping Toad instead of that ability right now. So those are the Mystic skills I recommend. For the gear, we are using two bellstrike Umbra martial arts, so we're just going to use the bellstrike Umbra sets, which is going to be Hawkwing and Eagle Rise. This is just really nice, I think, especially for these early game PvPs, because we only have to use one of the boxes to open up versus, say, like two if we're going in like some sort of hybrid, which is really nice in the early weeks of this game before we start getting to end game and like needing to diversify. So just really easy to use this and get all of your mats saved up. The rest of this video is going to be PvP match examples from my climb from expert to veteran, and I'm going to timestamp each individual ones with what my opponents are using as gear, in case if you're having trouble with, say, like someone who's using dual blades, someone who's using strategic sword plus Nameless spear, etc., etc. So you can just go to that and see how to deal with it. If you like videos like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and please enjoy the rest of this video with those PvP matches.